The real epidemic in our country of representation is bald people not being represented in movies appropriately. Welcome back to the Jack Sparrow channel. I am, of course, Jack. And today's topic is a really funny doozy. Apparently we have a representation problem, and it's not persons of color, it's not the LGBTQ plus SURTUV WXYZ community, it is not the Latino community, we do not have enough bald men in Hollywood playing bald men. So in this article from The Ringer, which sounds like a butt problem that you have if you have way too much the last dab, it's called "It's Time to Stop Letting Actors with Hair Play Bald People." After seeing a photo of a bear-scalped Jared Leto on the set of House of Gucci, one writer, himself a bald man, has a bone to pick. By said bald man, Josh Gondelman. Just over a year ago, in a feat of unparalleled Jared Leto-ness, Jared Leto emerged from a 12-day silent retreat in the desert to the news that the had begun to spread throughout the United States. Apparently, despite what the Joker says, some of us can go a couple of weeks without living in a society. Leto's re-entry into the world sparked some media coverage, with each article accompanied by a photo of the actor showcasing his familiar cascading tresses. As a person who started losing his hair at age 19, I always respect when a guy really leans into his ability to grow a great head of hair. Whether it's Oscar winner Jared Leto or Cleveland Cavaliers center Jarrett Allen. Seeing a fully realized coif, I always get that word mixed up. Coif. There we go. Feels like watching a naturally gifted piano player tackle a difficult piece of music. Conventional wisdom dictates that game recognize game, although in my experience, a complete lack of game. In this case, my hairline. Can also recognize game. Hairsuit, excellent. But thanks to a picture released last week, we know that Jared Leto now looks like this. Yeah. Paunchy and balding, with unruly hair dangling past the nape of his neck. Blah, 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 blah. It looks like a vibe of a professional wrestling manager. That's quite, or traveling Quaalude salesman. That's one pretty good, too. Of course, Jared Leto looks this way because he's in full hair and makeup for his role as Paolo Gucci in the upcoming Ridley Scott biopic. Blah, 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 blah. This is, of course, a long-standing Hollywood practice. Rather than hire Paul Giamatti, Jason Statham, J.K. Simmons, or Leslie David Baker to play a bald character, productions cast actors with full, thick heads of hair and then bald them up. It's double dipping. You get the clout from a famous hot person's name without them looking hot, and then they also get the actor cred for being brave enough to look regular on camera. Christian Bale was nominated for an Oscar for American Hustle, a movie that nobody liked, blah, 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 for putting a toupee on top of a bald cap. That is extreme bald guy stolen valor. Oh my. Oh my. A quick aside, my scorn does not extend to actors with fully shaved heads, which is a hairstyle. Yes, that reminds me of the SpongeBob episode. Shaved, it's a hairdo. He's like, so, Reg, where do you land on the bald versus shaved debate? Now, apparently this guy, he definitely feels that shaved, it's a hairdo. Bald, it's a hairdo. It's a hairstyle that anyone can adopt, regardless of their natural hairline, in which bald guys have been employing for years as they leave something to the imagination maneuver. How cheeky. I'm furious at Jared Leto, even though I understand this isn't his fault. This frustration isn't unique to me. A few years ago, Shea Serrano, who despite his self-deprecation is a handsome guy, wrote for this website about the infuriating trend of conventionally hot actors playing ugly characters in movies. He writes some stuff about ugly, blah, blah, blah. Just as Shay stood up for those who us are, let's say, facially deficient, I would like to speak specifically for those among us with an abundance of forehead. Much like Jared Leto, I have also grown balder and puffier over the past year, but I did the old-fashioned way. Stress and stress-related snacking. Yes, because you were probably wearing a mask in your tidy whities, sitting on your freaking couch, getting delivered Uber Eats, and not getting outside because you're too afraid to go out there because you might get the coof. But I digress. Is this the most pressing issue of representation Is this the most pressing issue of representation and authenticity in casting? No. Do bald male actors face the same level of scrutiny around their bodies as their female colleagues? Absolutely not. Is this whole opinion rooted in petty jealousy and insecurity? Of course it is. He admits it himself that this is stupid. He's whining and complaining in his article about guys with hair playing guys without hair for a character. Maybe he's not thinking about maybe the type of character actor that the director wants. Maybe Vin Diesel doesn't really work for Paolo Gucci. Maybe The Rock doesn't work for Paolo Gucci. Maybe Jason Statham doesn't work for Paolo Gucci. Maybe directors, they have a vision for a certain person. Now, are we going to have a cow? Where's the fat people? I'm sorry. People of extreme size. That's a little bit more PC, right? Where's the people of extreme size? And they're outraged because Russell Crowe had a fat suit on in that crappy movie where he's a pissed off hick. Where's the outrage for that? Where's the outrage for Mike Myers putting on a fat suit so he could play Fat Bastard? That's not good representation. If you needed Fat Bastard played by a real overweight person, you should have gotten Rosie O'Donnell to do that. Come on. It's probably because all the fat actors die, underage. I don't know. Might be something to do with that. But he goes on. So does this matter at all? A little bit. We don't need Jared Leto to be bald because we've already got bald guys. But thanks to anti-baldness bias. Anti-baldness bias. Yeah, I hate those bald people. They piss me off. Our numbers are dwindling. Over the past several years, we've lost several prominent balds to hair restoration surgery, process that used to make your skull look like a field of withered dust bowl corn stalks, but now works pretty well. Yeah, I guess they transplant your butt hair to your head or something like that. I don't think so. I don't want my butt hair on my head. No, I'll just shave my head and I'll do the bald look. It's a hairstyle. The eroded hairlines of men ranging from Jason Alexander and Jeremy Piven to LeBron James and Joe Biden have well re-eroded. I do not fault anyone for wanting to look more traditionally handsome. There are obvious benefits to not looking like shh. And by looking like shh, I of course mean failing to adhere to rigid cultural beauty norms. The issue of hair restoration falls firmly under the umbrella of don't hate the player, hate the game, except in the cases of Pippen and Lamox where you can both hate player and game alike. If based on personal preferences and societal pressures you decide to erect various surgical and cosmetic levees to protect against the rushing and swelling river of age, I have no problem with that. But you do. You do. But to go from a full head of scalp back to a full head of hair is to attempt the full-on reversal of time's passage. No, it's genetics, stupid. If you're claiming that this is all about time's passage and being, you age and you lose your hair when you age. You said you last started losing your hair at 19. I'm pretty sure that's young. That's right out of high school. You were starting to become, you were starting to get your skullet on right out of high school. So I'm not really sure what you're talking about with the time's passage. I think that's poor genetics. It's too much to expect people to believe, and if that's what you're after, just buckle down and build the time machine. I don't want to live in a world where Jason Alexander needs a full head of hair to make it through the day. If playing bald icon George Costanza for 9 seasons of Seinfeld doesn't earn you a lifetime pass on needing thick, credible hair, what chance do the rest of us have? The expectation that one should be able to thrive in entertainment or anywhere really, while defying conventional standards of attractiveness, is a male privilege, for sure. But it's not a privilege we should be trying to revoke. Instead, we should endeavor to extend similar privileges to as many types of people as possible. We should all feel free and happy living in the bodies we have. This is a true statement. This is a fact. I will absolutely agree with that statement. Or adjusting them to suit our own personal needs rather than external expectations. You should like the body you have, and you should be happy with what you have. And you can change that. If you aren't satisfied, the thing is, if you aren't satisfied, if you are flabby and out of shape, and you see somebody that is more muscular or toned or fit, you have the power to change that. You aren't doing it for, as long as you're not doing it for external expectations and you're only doing it for personal needs. Like, I don't want to be flabby and out of shape. I don't want to be gross, or I don't want to smoke and have my lungs filled with tar. I think I should stop smoking. Or maybe I drink too much, or maybe I play too many video games. Maybe I sit in my basement in my tighty-whities wearing a mask and complaining about people with hair too much. Anything that you have that you can change, you should absolutely change if it's something that you want. To compel us balds to do otherwise isn't just a windfall for Big Pharma and Big Hat. It's a firm step in the wrong direction for our culture as a whole. Dude, if you're not happy with being bald, you sound like you're like really unhappy about being bald. There are some, look at all these bald guys that we have that are like really cool. Mr. Clean, right here. We got Mr. Clean. He's pretty cool. We got Captain Picard. He's pretty cool. The Rock, really cool. Vin Diesel, he's pretty cool. Who am I missing? We got plenty of bald people, in society that are legit. And, yeah, I don't know. If you don't like it, transplant some butt hair on your head. Wear a toupee. Get one of those freaking rockin' mullet wigs or something. Just saying. To say that it's only okay to be bald if you are actually underneath a layer of latex in someone else's hair, traditionally hot, is not just insulting to bald people. It's limiting to every person whose body doesn't fit a specific mold. Again, maybe the director wants the specific actor to play the part based on what they can do, and the fact that they have hair, and they're like, well, we're gonna have to work around that. Like I said, maybe Mr. Clean doesn't work for the role of Paolo Gucci. Just saying. Maybe it just doesn't. Maybe Genie of the Lamp doesn't work either. Okay. Oh yeah, we forgot Shaq. How could you forget Shaq or Michael Jordan? Just saying. God, they're awesome. Whew. The ripple effects of this are numerous and far-ranging. There are already so many people whose bodies are under constant surveillance because of their gender, their race, their age, and their size. And any additional compulsory traditional hotness heightens that vigilance. So yes, this is a dumb thing for me to be mad about. Yes, absolutely agree with that. You're an idiot. But on the other hand, no man's hairline is an island. Even when he has gone bald, in a way that leaves a literal island of hair on top of his head. Well, I think this guy's an idiot. I think he's trying to take this like oppression Olympics and this representation thing to the next nth degree of stupidity. This is either like completely like satire and a joke, or he's dead serious. And he's terribly offended that maybe there's people that are better for the role and they just happen to have hair. And maybe there's people that are tired of being bald. Maybe they wanted hair again. And so they felt like they wanted the hair, not because they were pushed into it. You know, this guy sounds like he probably compensates by having a lovely hipster beard, with those glasses, and he probably looks like he does the cuck face like this, right here, this guy, but with no hair on top of his head, which is fine. Just get yourself a clown wig or something like that, and you look good, right? Anyway, what do you think? Are you bald? Are you offended by unbald people playing bald people? Do bald people bother you? They bother me. They're just so annoying. They look like big, no-haired bald people. I mean, come on. Ew, right? Anyway, a joke. Leave me a comment, like the video, subscribe if you want to hear more funny things like this. And this is Jack Sparrow saying, keep it bald.